here with Wedge. We're gonna do some Q&A. Cheers. All right, before we get into the queuing and the Aing, we have some people to thank. We're very high tech here at Wedge Hikes the AT, so I just printed out their names. Do you want to read them off?
Sure.
Okay.
I'd like to thank for your Mary, Abigail, Christian, Lori, Stacy, my sister, Rachel, Ryan, Randy, Sharon, Anita, PRM, Jeremiah, Kate, Doug, Prayer Walker, Clea, Jess, Steve, Julia, and Jedi, who I've met.
Cheers.
Personally.
Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much. Okay, first question is from Tammy Lambert, and it is, what made you want to hike the AT?
When I was about 9 or 10 years old, I was a Cub Scout, and we were actually hiking on the Appalachian Trail when some thru hikers walked by. This is in the 80s now, early 80s, so there wasn't a lot of thru hikers at the time. And my den master had said, "Where are you guys going?" And one of the guys said, "We're walking all the way to Maine." And then my den master asked, "Where did you come from?" And they said, "We came from Georgia." So that just planted the seed. My den master didn't even realize that there was a trail that was that long. So we asked them, they said, "We're walking basically from Georgia to Maine." And that's why it's been in my head ever since that I've wanted to do the AT. The seed was really solidly planted that I needed to do this when I was about 14 and talking about it with my friends in high school. 8 years ago when I retired, I kind of really wanted to do it then, but I needed a lot of surgeries and I needed a lot of PT, and it just, the time wasn't there. And then about a year ago, I wanted to leave a couple of weeks later, and Cindy said, "No, do your research and go next year and take all the time you need." So here I am, halfway through in a hotel in Virginia.
Okay, so the next question is from David Voley. Sorry if I'm saying that wrong. David talks about having a fear of growing too old to do the things he loves to do, and says that he's 20. He's in engineering school, and he's scared of getting into the college, work, retire, die mindset. He says it's inspiring and calming to see an older person like yourself, an older person like yourself, still doing what you love to do. So he says, someday I want to hike maybe the CDT, AT, PCT, but he doesn't know where that would fit into the calendar of his life. So it's not so much a question as just a thing to think about. What do you think about fitting this into your life, and any advice for David?
Well, I would say try to do it sooner than later.
Do it while your knees are young, David.
Do it
while your knees are young.
If you could do like a not a leap year, what?
Gap year?
A gap year, thank you. If you could do like a gap year after college before going into work, or if you could do something where you're your own boss and have the funds to take the time off to do it. I see I've seen 17, 18, there's even a 12-year-old out here right now. So do it as soon as you can. Don't put it off. Don't put your life off. Working in an office till you die is not really the best way to go about things. If you want to do it, I say go for it. You'll figure it out.
Dylan McManus. Hi, Dylan. Hi, Beth. He wants to know, why did you pick Wedge as your trail name?
I chose Wedge for multiple reasons. Your favorite band, Fish, has a song named Wedge. I'm just kidding. He doesn't like this band named Fish. One of my favorite characters in Star Wars is Wedge Antilles. And ultimately, it turns out that my name translated from German means wedge.
Okay, Hudson has joined us as our guest reader to read this question from Car Jurassic.
What is your shoe choice?
My shoe choice is the Ultra Olympus 4. It's one of the older models. I prefer it to anything else I've tried. I've tried Lone Peaks, I've tried Merrills, I've tried Keens. These seem to work the best. This particular shoe has almost 500 miles on it and probably still has a little bit more life on it, but I already got my new ones. So I'm switching this one out for the new ones. And I buy red because it's the ones that are on sale. There's no reason why I buy red. It's just these are on sale for like half off from the other ones.
The next questions are about gear. The first one is from Jess. Hi, Jess. Cousin Jess says, how did you decide what gear was best for the trail and for yourself? And J3 Hikes asks a related question. How is your gear holding up? Any changes?
How I decided on what gear I wanted, which was best for the trail, was a lot of trial and error. I watched a lot of YouTube videos, read a lot of reviews, and really dug into like outdoor magazines and stuff like that, and how they rated gear. Then I went to the stores and tried them on, saw how they fit and how they felt and how durable they were. As for how my gear is holding up, I started with Osprey Exos 58. It worked really well when I first started, but as I lost a lot of weight, it didn't fit the way it once did. So I switched from Osprey Exos 58 to Gossamer Gear Mariposa 60, which is working out really well.
Great.
Which is what I'm using now.
And you switched your tent out too, right?
And I did switch my tent out. I switched my tent from Big Agnes UL 1 to Durston, which has been great. Durston single.
Carol and Steve C ask, what do you do to take care of your legs, your knees, your feet, ankles while on trail? Any nightly routines to help keep yourself healthy?
Yes, I stretch a lot, and I have a cork ball that I use, and I use it as I rub it on my leg to just kind of relieve some of the pressure. There goes my son. He's going to go get a cork ball right now, so he's going to bring it back.
It's going to arrive, and here he comes. Here he comes. Here comes the cork ball.
So there it is. Where you just kind of take it and rub it on your leg like this. I spend a good half hour every night with my cork ball on my legs, and I try to stretch as much as I can. I have on my shoes, they're very, very thick soled, so that also takes a lot of the pressure off as I'm walking. And I use my trekking poles a lot while I'm walking, and just kind of relieves the pressure by putting a lot of it more on my arms than my legs.
Another question, this one was from Instagram, from also Jess. Hi, Jess. Do you think staying on trail and blazing on is more of a mental challenge than a physical one, or vice versa? So more mental, more physical?
I would say after the first month to 6 weeks, the physical challenges actually go away because you're really in shape at that point, and you're losing weight, and you're strong, and you're hiking. And that's where the mental challenge starts coming in. That's where you start thinking, I miss my wife, I miss my kids, I miss my dog, what am I doing? And your mind will actually start trying to talk yourself out of hiking. So there's a thing called the Virginia Blues. I thought it was something completely different, but it's really your mind starts turning on you about midway through Virginia, and it gets difficult. I mean, you're telling yourself, no, I want to do this, I need to complete this, and your head's like, no, you don't. You want to go home. You've done enough. You've gone way farther than most people have. 80% of the people that try this, or 70% of the people that try this, you could go home now. So you really have an internal dialogue where you're fighting with yourself, and you got to work through that. Now that I'm getting towards the end of Virginia, it's gone away. But there was a couple of weeks that I had a hard time, and talking to other people, they were having the same difficulties as they were walking through Virginia as well. Same internal dialogue, fighting with yourself about go home or stay.
The next question is from Roll Everything, aka Clay. Hi, Clay.
Hey, Clay.
Go ahead, Hudson.
What do you expect?
What didn't I expect was that a close friend of mine from high school was going to make a reaction video. I'm just kidding. I love your videos. They're great. I love when you do those. What I didn't expect was, that's a great question. I'd really have to say how uphill everything is. I mean, this is obviously the way that our grandparents went to school, because it is uphill both ways, and a lot of the times it just feels like you're going up like this. And a lot of people told me last year that, oh, don't worry about the heights, it's not that bad. You're on cliff edges quite often with really large drop-offs. So I'd have to say the heights of some of where the trail is and how close it is to just, falling off, and how steep the terrain is. I knew there was a lot of hills, but I didn't really expect it to be mostly uphill most of the day.
The next question is from Melanie Dodge, who says that she's definitely a little fearful of heights because she occasionally suffers from vertigo. You've mentioned a few times that you shouldn't do the trail if you're afraid of heights. Have you met anyone on trail with this issue? And if so, how do they overcome it? I really want to do it once I retire full time. I hope you get out there, Melanie.
Do I know anybody that's afraid of heights? Yes, me. I am definitely afraid of heights. However, in the beginning, it's semi-gradual, so you kind of get used to it as you go, and then you get on top of some mountain tops where you have a wide berth around you, so you don't really feel that exposed, and it just kind of shrinks on you as you get into North Carolina, and it does start getting exposed, so you're kind of getting used to it as you're going along, but also you have to get through the mindset of, you really want to do this trip, so what's more important, to get up and over this mountain or to not do it? So you get used to it, but there's a few times that you really have to fight through your fear in order to get past where you were at.
Pamela Lynn asks, almost every hiker I follow asks about how hard it is to be away from loved ones. Did it help to see your family, or was it harder to say goodbye again?
The first time when they came to visit me down in Marion was really difficult after they left. I felt good when I said goodbye, and I was happy, and I was back on trail, and I ran into my buddy Rhetoric again, and we were hiking, and we had a good day hiking. We had like an 18-mile day, and then we went to a campsite, a shelter, and it was absolutely jam-packed. That was a little disheartening, so we ended up having to back hike about a mile to find a campsite. And then once I packed, got my tent up and ready, I'm laying in it, and I was sad. I wanted my family again, and I was questioning myself, do I want to keep doing this? Do I want to be home with my family? But you just kind of push through it. And then this time they're here. I mean, I'm surrounded by them now. So I'll have to see what happens this time. But I'm getting closer to home, so I'm going to see them more over the next couple of months than I have, because it's been 3 months. I've only seen them once, and this is the second time. But the faster I hike now, the faster I'm going to get to see them again. New York, New Jersey, Connecticut, and places that are closer to home. So it's kind of motivating me to move a little faster, to get more time. And then once I get past Connecticut, then I'm on the home stretch. Then I just have to fight through it and just get up to Maine, get to Katahdin, and then I could come home. Then I could be home with my family.
Next question is from Liz.
Hey, Liz.
When you finish the trail, I have full confidence in you, my friend. What things from hiking the trail do you think you will incorporate into daily life?
That I can walk a lot. That's it. I don't think there's actually much that I'm going to bring with this. This is just one of those weird things, that I just really wanted to get done, but I don't think I could really transfer it into normal life unless I start like some sort of outdoor business, like come to my class and I'll teach you how to hike the AT the proper way, for $5.99, come camping with me for 3 days and I'll teach you how to do the AT. So unless something like that happens, my motivation's always been the same. I mean, it's like my dedication to something has always been there. And I'm actually using that, I'm drawing from that more like past experience than I am building new experience. I'm an old dog. There's no new tricks for me.
And our last question is from Lucky, Rocky the Alaska Pug, who asks,
Do you think you would ever attempt the PCT or the CDT?
The CDT, the Pacific Crest Trail or the Continental Divide Trail. Do I ever think I'll attempt the PCT or the CDT? I don't know. I will not be attempting anything like this until the kids are older and out of the house. Everybody always kind of says that the AT is the harder of them. So I wanted to knock that one out while I was, not that I'm young, but when I was younger and a little bit more able to handle it. The thought is there. The PCT and the seat, get my Triple Crown. The seed is definitely planted. People that I'm hiking around, we're already talking about it. I think I would attempt the Colorado Trail way before I ever attempted the PCT or the CDT. Or a dream hike would do the Everest Base Camp. And I would do those before I ever did any other long through hike.
is asking that question a little bit like asking someone in childbirth whether she's ready to have another kid?
Kind of. It's day to day. Some days I'm like, I'm never doing this. I'm never even going to go day hiking again. And other days I'm like, I could do this forever. This is the best thing that's ever happened to me. So it's a very day to day thought. But yes, the PCT and CDT thoughts are there, but I will not be doing it while my kids are still as young as they are. I'll wait until they're in college or something.
This question is from Jared K76. Go ahead, Hudson.
What's been the most challenging thing mentally while on trail?
Being away from my family. Sometimes I feel like I'm letting them down by being away. So not being near them, especially when I hear that Cindy's having troubles with schedules because we have a kid in lacrosse, a kid that plays in multiple baseball games, 2 dogs, her father's up there in age, my parents are up there in age. Hearing the problems that go along, and here I am out on a trail, just having the time of my life. So I feel like I'm letting people down. So that's a huge mental challenge. Even though I'm reassured multiple times that I'm not letting anybody down, and that I keep moving forward and keep going with my dream. But they're mental challenges. I feel like I'm letting people down by not being there for them when they need me the most, even though they're being there for me while I'm doing this.
We're really proud of you. Give Daddy a big hug. I have a few questions from 2 left polls. Maize or Bowie?
I like Bowie more. However, I actually called Maize during the island tour in '98 when everybody was calling Bowie. So because of that, I now call Maize. Even though I love Bowie more, I called Maize when everybody called Bowie, and I got it right and they got it wrong, so now it's Maize.
I have no idea what he's talking about. Next question. Are you taking care of your shoes?
As best I can.
Next question. Meat stick dance, yay or nay?
100% meat stick dance, of course.
Next question. Okay, this seems non-fish related. So you seem stoked to see the trail's landmarks. What's been your favorite so far?
McAfee Knob. It's got to be McAfee Knob. That was the most emotional because that's what every picture is. You have, whenever you see people on the trail, you have Springer, you have Katahdin, and then they always have the picture of McAfee Knob. So making it to McAfee Knob was a huge moment for me. It was quite emotional, and it was hard to describe. It was mind blowing.
And we want to give a very special thank you to Dave and Sumiko of Mountain Blaze.
Mountain Blaze.
This is a shirt that they sent for Scott, and he's got a fanny pack that he's like way overloaded. It's like 15 pounds of stuff in that fanny pack, I think. They've sent so much gear that he's used. The things that he's bought from their website have been so super great. His warm hat, and way more than the stuff is the love that they have shared, not just with Scott Wedge, but also with me, sending me messages, checking in on me, making sure he's okay, making sure I'm okay. The Appalachian Trail isn't like normal life. People are so kind, people are so generous, and really just want to take care of you and see you succeed. So Dave and Sumiko, thank you so much.
And this is one of their products. This is the thing I use the most. It's one of their fanny packs with one of their wallets in here. This thing is tried and true. It's completely waterproof, and I've overloaded this thing. Without my snacks in it, I weighed it on the scale the other day, and I had 7.8 pounds in this thing before I added 2 or 3 pounds of snacks. This thing really carries the weight. It's comfortable, and I love it. Check out their Etsy site. It is at Mountain Blaze on Etsy, and you can find them on Instagram at Mountain Blaze Arts. Please look them up and check their products out. They're amazing. Amazing up-and-coming company. They're going to be huge. Get it while you can. Thanks, Slowfoot. Thanks, Sumiko, for your support, your love, and everything. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'd like to thank everybody that's been following me so long. I'd like to thank everybody that's bought me a beer, and everybody that's watched my videos, even if you're not a subscriber. But if you're watching this and you're not, hit the link below. If you want to buy me a beer, you can also, once again, hit the link below. If you don't, it's fun. Thank you so much for watching my videos. Thank you so much for sending the questions, all the comments. Even though I don't necessarily answer every comment, I read every one of them. Out on the trail, it gets hard with the band, trying to get service. So I get to read them. I just don't necessarily answer them a lot of the times. Blaze on. Go back.